Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're doing a deep dive into the world of music promotion in 2024 today.
hmm
And we've got Mark Knight's article, How to Promote Music in 2024, to guide us.
Right.
And honestly, after reading this thing, it's clear that this is not your grandma's music industry anymore.
It's true. It really highlights just how much things have changed, even in just the past few years.
So for those of us who haven't read the article, can you paint the picture for us? What's changed?
Well, it all starts with how we consume music now.
Okay.
Like, it's not like the old days of just turning on MTV or Top of the Pops to hear the latest hits.
Right.
Music's become, well, it's become part of this, like, larger entertainment experience
Yeah.
where it's often kind of playing a secondary role.
That's so true. I was just reading about the Killers' recent tour, and the thing that made the biggest waves online wasn't even their set list.
Really?
Yeah, it was the fact that they paused the concert to let the whole crowd watch a soccer game.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like a perfect example of what you're talking about.
It really is, yeah. And that's what this article really stresses.
Okay.
It's not enough to just have good music anymore. You have to grab attention and fast.
It's true, and I can definitely say as someone who is definitely guilty of the whole endless social media scroll,
Right.
something has to, like, hook me instantly or I'm on to the next thing.
And that's the challenge for musicians today, right? Our attention spans are, they're shrinking. And this article really points to TikTok as like the platform now.
Interesting.
And the name of the game, it's watch time. It's not just about how many views you get. It's about how long you can actually keep someone engaged.
So walk me through this watch time thing. How does that work exactly?
So basically, the longer someone watches your video on TikTok, the more the algorithm thinks your content is, worth showing to other people.
Right.
The algorithm being like the behind the scenes tech that decides who sees what.
Right.
And so like to the algorithm, high watch time, that equals valuable content.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and the article mentions this guy, Connor Price, as a great example of someone who's really killing it on
Oh,
TikTok.
yeah, I've seen his stuff.
Mhm.
What is it that he does that's so special?
Well, he's really good at constantly providing something new for viewers to see, to keep them engaged.
Can you give me an example?
Oh, yeah, so like he had this one TikTok recently that it starts with him playing like this really catchy guitar riff. But then instead of just, playing the whole song, he cuts to this hilarious clip of him trying to teach his grandma to play the same riff on the guitar.
I love that.
And it's unexpected, it's funny, it makes you want to keep watching to see what happens next.
Totally. And it's like what you were saying earlier. It's not enough to just have the music. You need that extra something to make it really pop.
Exactly. It's like you're not just posting a song anymore.
Right.
You're crafting an experience.
You're a content creator who also makes music.
Exactly.
I'm already thinking about how this applies to my own social media. And it sounds like musicians in 2024, they really have their work cut out for them.
They do.
So what else should they be thinking about if they really want to succeed?
Well, the article, it doesn't really sugarcoat it. It basically says, get ready to engage all the senses.
Engage all the senses.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
But like, what does that actually mean, practically speaking?
So it means thinking beyond just the audio.
Right.
Visuals are, they're huge.
Okay.
Like you need to have eye-catching thumbnails to make people actually stop their scrolling.
Right.
Consistent branding, so you're instantly recognizable.
It's like, you see a Lady Gaga video.
Yeah.
And even if it's just a thumbnail, you know it's Lady Gaga.
Exactly. Strong visuals, right.
Yeah.
And, this example from the article really stuck with me about using visuals to create this kind of like emotional connection. Like imagine, you're watching a video of a musician and they're performing for someone and the video captures that person's like raw, genuine reaction to the music.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
It's like you get to experience the music through their eyes and their ears, you know?
Yeah.
It's so much more powerful than just watching someone sing into a microphone.
It adds that extra layer of engagement.
Totally.
And speaking of engagement,
Yeah.
their article argues that you need to either entertain or inform and fast.
No pressure. But seriously, how do you even choose which one to focus on, especially if you're a newer artist?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
And they actually make a really interesting point in the article.
Okay.
They say unless you're already super established, people aren't, they're not coming to you for your deep knowledge of music theory.
Right.
At least not right away, right? They want to be entertained.
You got to make that connection first, right? And then you can maybe sprinkle in some of that deeper stuff once you've got their attention.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And one really creative way they suggest to do that, grab attention and also like broaden your reach.
Yeah.
Collaborations.
Collaborations. Okay. So that's not exactly a new concept in the music world.
It's not new, but they challenge us to think beyond just collaborating with other musicians.
Okay.
Like imagine partnering with influencers,
Okay.
comedians, even people in like completely different fields.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like you're not even collaborating on the music itself. You're collaborating on audiences, on like reaching new people.
Exactly. Like think about the possibilities, you know? What if you had like a death metal band collaborating with a pastry chef on a TikTok baking video, you know, set to their music?
Okay, now that's thinking outside the box.
Right.
I like it. And speaking of unexpected, we had to talk about this article's take on music videos in 2024.
Yeah, it's a pretty bold statement.
Yeah.
They basically said that unless you're already a big name, full-length music videos might be like a waste of resources.
Interesting, because like for so long, music videos were the way to promote a song, you know?
Right, but think about your own viewing habits these days.
Yeah, that's
Like when was the last time you actually chose to watch a full music video?
Yeah, no, you're right.
In the age of TikTok, it's all about those short, like, snackable pieces of content.
Bite-sized content.
Exact.
So instead of putting all your eggs in one basket with like one big budget music video, you're saying the article suggests focusing on creating like tons of shorter clips specifically for platforms like TikTok.
Exactly.
Okay, makes sense to me. We've gone from gourmet meals to like the world of food trucks.
Totally.
You got to serve up something delicious and attention-grabbing and fast.
Exactly. Yeah, and just like food trucks rely on that perfect blend of like taste and visual appeal.
Yeah.
Musicians need to think about how their music is presented visually as well.
Okay.
And this is where the article was really hammering home this idea of like data being your best friend.
Okay, so less gut feeling, more spreadsheets.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's about working smarter, not harder.
Right.
Like track your social media stats,
Right.
see what's working, what's not working.
Yeah.
The beauty of these digital platforms is you have that like instant feedback loop. That's true.
You can analyze what's resonating with your audience and then, actually adapt your approach accordingly.
So find a winning formula and don't be afraid to repeat it.
Exactly. And, it's funny you should mention that because it makes me think about what we were talking about earlier with visual consistency
Yeah.
and branding.
Right.
Like how Lady Gaga's visuals are just so distinctly her.
Exactly.
It's very intentional.
It's strategic, right?
Yes.
Like the article really emphasized how crucial building a strong visual identity is, think about it when you're scrolling through, whatever, your TikTok feed.
Yeah.
And you see a thumbnail and it's got a certain color scheme or font or like editing style. And you just, instantly who that artist is.
Yeah.
That's visual branding working its magic.
It's those little details, those visual cues that make all the difference.
Exactly, yeah.
It creates a sense of familiarity.
Yeah, and it helps you stand out in a sea of content.
For sure.
And, that familiarity, it builds a connection with the audience, even if they don't realize it.
Absolutely. Yeah. This has been such a fascinating deep dive. So many great takeaways for musicians who are, really trying to make it in this crazy music industry in 2024.
It is a whole new world out there.
It really is. But there's this one final thought from the article that really got my wheels turning. I wanted to get your take on it.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
So the article, it focuses mainly on, individual artists, right?
Right.
But what about bigger events like concerts and festivals?
Oh, that's interesting.
How do you build that same kind of buzz, the same level of engagement for something that's, more than just one person or one song?
That's a great question.
It's a whole other beast.
It is, yeah.
But it's interesting to think about because, the desire for connection, for shared experiences, that's never going to go away.
It's not, no.
But the way we create those connections, the way we cut through the noise and capture people's attention, that's an art form in itself.
It really is.
Well, on that note, thanks for joining us for another deep dive, everyone.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And until next time, keep those creative wheels turning.